While we were muted, we thanked you for reviewing the replays from the previous format and came up with the cure to the common cold. And now we are watching a Salamangreat player execute the combo.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and just quickly recap. So both these players are at table 3. We wanted to show you guys a Salamangreat. Wow, a copy of Bell.
Salamangreat deck with a lot of open slots and occasionally playing like kind of off-brand hand traps really reaps rewards. Looks pretty good right here.
Yeah, so what I was saying was when the audio was unfortunately muted is that a lot of people revere Salamangreat as the worst best deck, but I don't feel like that's an adequate description. While it doesn't necessarily excel in any particular area, it is a jack-of-all-trades type of deck. It's consistent enough that you're probably going to get to play every single game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That you're going to play with the deck, and I think that's a strength, especially over the course of an 8+ round tournament, especially if you're planning on topping, if not winning. And, I mean, you see here, Jamil, even though Circle is at 1, Circle and Gazelle are both at 1, his board is not that great because he did get stopped by Ghost Spell. So that kind of, thwarted his plan because he can't get access to Gazelle to send spinning and kind of do his whole combo. But there are instances where you're just going to, lose to a hand trap, but a lot of decks do that.
Yeah, certainly. And for what it's worth, you lose to very few hand traps. Ash, for example, doesn't interact particularly well with Flame Buffalo / Baylings. Ogre is fine, but if there's a Baylings in the graveyard, it's actually miserable. And, of course, Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion doesn't show up as often as it used to.
Yeah, interesting with the side deck on the the main deck Ghost Spell. That's something that maybe Jad is particularly looking out for, maybe Thunder being in attendance, which we did showcase a Thunder player in one of the earlier feature matches. So, and I know a couple other people who are playing pure Thunder too, so maybe that was a meta call for this particular event.
Ooh, and there's the Phant.
Phantasme. Phantasme is really big in the Salamangreat mirror just because it has such a large body. It's very difficult to deal with because Salamangreat has suffers from the Trickstar syndrome where it can be very difficult sometimes to beat over large monsters.
It's a little frustrating to be playing Phantasme online because it turns out people interested in playing on online simulators routinely aren't playing link-heavy decks. The Salamangreat mirror is one of the very few matchups in which Phantasme is always good and always live.
It's astonishing because Phantasme, for as expensive as a card as it is, it only sees play like in Salamangreat.
Yeah, routinely it's actually just terrible.
Right. But it does help Salamangreat a lot. It helps with your consistency. It gives you a big body to work with. The targeting protection, especially in the mirror match, can actually be very important.
And now that the deck has started relying on things like Signet Mining, it's not that bad to have a card that's always the worst card in your hand, but occasionally wins you the game.
Decks have plenty of consistency tools. You still got Signet Mining. I mean, Jad's playing Pot of Desires, which I feel like if you're playing this deck, you should be playing Pot of Desires.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, you have a lot of one-ofs here, but at the same time, you're most likely going to get those out of your deck before using Desires. And if not, it's basically another starter card or like a half starter card to at least get to what you want.
Speaking of half starter cards, Mole.
Okay, so Mole is effectively a Pot of Avarice, I believe, or maybe
That's
a
correct,
Jar of
yeah.
Avarice. I think Jar might be more. I think it only draws one card, but that's something you don't see too often. But we do see Hita now, and Hita is just insane, not only just in this matchup, but against like Striker. Ooh, accidentally showing that impermanence, but...
Hita's quite strong, but in the mirror is nigh unbeatable.
Yeah, but Ogre is a very... If there's one point where Ogre's going to be good against Salamangreat, it's probably going to be Hita.
Yeah. All of their other cards completely protected by Baylings.
Yeah.
Ooh, and the Ash, too.
Wow, okay. So... Jamil just has all the answers here, and not to mention that Will is still online.
Yeah, we've got to deal with the Will, but otherwise, yeah, wow.
Ogering Will can be good if they don't have a Baylings, but the problem is if you can't force that Baylings out, that Will is going to resolve, and you are going to have a very, very bad day. Will is such an incredible extender
There's
card.
what, a Gazelle in the graveyard right now?
There is a Gazelle in the
That's
graveyard.
as bad as it gets.
Yeah. So he's going to set that impermanence most likely, and he's just going to pass. That's a very, very bad position from Jad here. He was actually looking pretty good up until he just got absolutely just slaughtered by those hand traps.
It's not often you get a Salamangreat player onto Baylings Pass, and it's even less often that you can do it with a single hand trap. But the follow-up just was not there.
Not to mention, Jamil's hand is now refreshed with all the cards from Phantasme here. Twin Twister.
Okay, well, that is a way to get rid of the Will, except there's a Baylings in graveyard.
Yeah, so unfortunately, he is going to lose out on that, and that Will is going to resolve here, so he is going to get to special summon the Gazelle. It looks like the judge is just clarifying something here.
Yeah, just...
Oh, he's having a move zones for the banish pile. Okay.
Appreciated. Thank you.
So Gazelle's going to come down here. That's going to send any Salamangreat card to the graveyard. At this
What do you
point,
think we're going to see?
I would wager a guess and say probably a Spinny.
Spinny seems all right.
Yeah.
Likely we'll know the remaining 2 cards in his hand based on what he sends.
Right, and it could be depend on what else is in
Ooh,
his
it's
hand.
a Falco.
Okay. He actually has not, he could bounce Falco back to his field, Riyadh Gazelle, Special Gazelle, but then he needs another 3. Oh, he has
Or
spinny.
he has the
Okay.
spinny in the hand,
That was
of
going to
course.
be my next,
He has 2 spinnies in the hand,
perfect.
actually.
If one weren't enough, yeah. This is going to be pretty bad for Jad here.
Oh, imagine making Mirage Stallion with 2 spinnies.
Yeah. That's disgusting.
This post brought to you by Recursion Gang.
So he's going to special summon Spinny. He does control another Salamangreat, so he can do that. He's going to go ahead and make Mirage Stallion. I don't know who thought making Mirage Stallion generic was a good idea.
There's just so much wrong with Mirage Stallion. It's generic. It's the most accessible star line in the game. It has a reasonable amount of attack points. When it goes to the graveyard, it performs non-destruction removal. It specials from deck.
If you just have to say that you combined MX Saber Invoker and Compulsory Evacuation Device into one card,
And that's insane.
that's insane. And you can make it with any 2 level 3s.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good. Ogre on Stallion, though, this is pretty significant.
Fine.
It's good because Jamil wasted, I don't want to say wasted, but he used his Ogre, or excuse me, his Balinks to protect his Will and his Sanctuary. So this was a point where Jamil actually was vulnerable. Now, again, he still has plenty of plays he can work with here.
Here's a play that I think we're likely to see, Abyss Dweller.
Yes, and in the mirror, Dweller can just almost spell game over because it can just completely shut down what Jad could even possibly do. I don't even think Jad has any cards in his hand. So.
Oh, wow. The last card was Ogre, yeah.
Yeah, so if there was any hope for him to come back from this, I mean.
For what it's worth, Mole is quite good in this scenario. Does he have the requisite material? Because if he doesn't, then it's terrible, of course.
So he's going to attack.
Gonna get the Balinks out of there. Sure. Now we're gonna go in again.
He's gonna
Okay.
attack the mole.
2,400, that big boy.
Yes, 2,400 from that Phantasme coming in. Looks like the players just might be, might not have a pad of paper. There we go. And so now at this point, Jamil can go ahead, bounce Gazelle back to his hand, special Falco, make Dweller, and then you have Dweller plus Phantasme.
How on earth do you lose from that position, especially with no cards in hand?
Game 1, that's rough.
This would have to be some anime level.
Yeah.
Burning Draw, burn the soul,
Well,
Soul Burner.
No, that'd be Dweller. No, he wouldn't have a Salamangreat monster. I was going to say Super Poly, but he doesn't have, there would be no target he could make.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a Salamangreat and a Link.
Yeah, there's not. Ugh.
So he's just
It
gonna
does feel kind of like Lights Out here.
immediately Dwellering here, and
And
Jad's
there's
just
game
going to
2.
scoop it up. That's basically textbook.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really shocking. Oh, and he drew the Crusadia for turn. Frustrating.
Ooh.
That's really shocking. I would have thought, being a Salamangreat player and getting to use exactly one hand trap to stop your opponent's turn before they did anything meaningful would be enough. But Jamil with the Ash, Ogre, I mean, every answer in the book.
I was going to say, it's, you would think that, but then when Jamil has twice the amount of hand traps you had, I think that kind of changes the equation and tilts it back into his favor.
Yeah, then it's okay.
That's one of the strengths of Salamangreat, though, because you have an engine that doesn't require a lot of pieces, and so you can play all these hand traps to, even if you get stopped, you're not going to necessarily lose because you have so much defense, and there's so many unknowns, too.
Right. Salamangreat seems like one of those decks, like Jund in Modern, where I don't know if my win rate would improve by seeing the contents of my opponent's hand. They routinely just are telegraphing their entire line, but the deck is so resilient and so able to play through hate that it's almost impossible to navigate even with perfect information.
And if you are just joining us, these players are at table 3, as a matter of fact. So they're both 3-0 right now in round 4. We're doing 8 rounds today. 143 players I think we had in attendance. It's pretty good.
Pretty good turnout, yeah.
8 rounds, and then we're going to cut to a top 16 tomorrow and do those 4 rounds. And should be pretty good. We will have a new champion crowned. $10,000 invitational in January. These players are playing not only just to win the money today, but also for that invitational money. Oh, prime.
Talk about prize support. So it looks like Jad is sort of mulling over Red Reboot in the side deck here.
That's interesting. I mean, having Red Reboot for cards like Rage or like Roar can be effective because if your hand is significantly weak enough to just lose to a card like Roar, which Salamangreat can consistently get to almost every hand, Red Reboot's not terrible, because then you can also have options like going into YuGiOh, and then you can shuffle away the cards that they set. So you even have ways to deal with Red Reboot's supposed
Downside.
drawback. Yeah.
By the way, not a downside. Every time Red Reboot's been cast against me, I just either lose the game or we're playing on such a different axis of Yu-Gi-Oh! That having another copy of goes in match isn't likely to matter.
I'm really curious to see why Jad's playing Mole. I know Mole is like seen very seldom.
Yeah, it's around, but not great. It looks like Jad is messing with the danger composition of his deck right now.
I feel like that's the way to go, because what I love about the dangers, and I was actually playing this for YCS Portland, is that they're unconditional level 3s that you can summon. So the problem with some of the other cards, like say Crusadia Reclusia, it's only good going second. Flame Buffalo requires your normal summon. Not that these cards are bad necessarily, but the problem is you just want bodies on the board to get to Mirage Stallion. And the danger, you can do it unconditionally, and it's going to discard cards out of your hand, which you kind of are okay with getting in the graveyard anyway. And then you get to draw further into your deck, so they almost just help improve your consistency as a result of that. So I really like the dangers in this deck, and just all you need is the 2 Jackalope, 2 Tsuchinoko. Like, you're good.
So I saw Mind Control out of Jad. That seems pretty good.
That is probably one of the best cards you can have in the mirror, because it forces out Roar, it forces out almost everything. And if you don't have a way to stop it, you might probably just lose the game instantly, because being able to take your opponent's Sunlight Wolf to use as material for your own plays is just, it's ridiculous, because you get to benefit from all the effects of it too, if you so wish.
Ooh, did he just indicate that Jamil's going first?
Did he? Ooh.
I like that, if you're boarding into all second stuff.
And that's one we've seen a lot of interesting mind games in games 2 and 3
Yeah, with
here.
things like Twin Twister in the hand, I think it's quite likely.
Okay.
He's going to get he's going to get at least 1 additional draw step. That's pretty good. Well,
There's a Foxy.
That's a nice one.
Beautiful Prismatic Seeker Rares.
Thank you, Konami.
It's going to get that spinny circle. All valid targets.
We got to get Circle.
Look at that. Got to go for Circle.
I love revealing the Sanctuary, because you go, oh, the Sanctuary. Ah, well.
I mean, I guess I should take that one. Just going to add Circle to his hand here.
Let's see a Droll. Yeah. Ooh,
Ash for the Circle. That could be...
I don't know if it's premature or not.
Has the spinny.
Wow.
Okay. So Jamil is going to be able to get to Mirage Dahlia here. That is one of the risks you take if you go on a preemptive Ash on Circle. I like the risk that he took there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does get a little bit punished here.
It's not like the worst thing in the world. You know, making Mirage Stallios the first play of the turn is never like optimal, but it's still probably good enough to get the ball rolling.
To be fair, if he already had the spinny, he would have actually been able to search Gazelle, and then this would have been a much more explosive turn. So there was some merit in the Ash, but now we're just going to go ahead and see him get to it anyway. We might see an Ogre, though.
No way, dude.
Oh,
okay. A quick...
I was going to say, that was another reason I was thinking maybe that's why he Ashed it, because he had the Ogre as a backup. Because with no Balinks in the graveyard, he would be perfectly okay with hitting Mirage Stallion. Because, yeah, you get the summon, but you lose the Stallion. So.
Right.
So Mirage Stallion is going to resolve. He's going to grab the Gazelle. Gazelle's most likely going to dump the Roar here. Jamil also with an Impermanence in hand, so that's a pretty good startup. I think he has the Jack Jaguar in his hand, which makes things a little bit awkward, unless he plays 2.
It's not super great, but, ooh, well, Falco and Graveyard's pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, now what do you think is going to happen?
Well, without a way to get...
There's no way we can set up a Dweller this turn, is there?
He's going to bounce Gazelle, summon Falco. Gazelle could get itself to the graveyard in some way, but the problem is he needs to get Jack Jaguar out of his hand.
Just a little shake of the head there.
Yeah, I think it's just awkward. Opening Jack Jaguar is very difficult.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I will say I like the dangers, because if you hit Jack Jaguar off it, you wanted it there anyway.
This is an incredibly weird turn.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what's in the opener that facilitated this.
So he's going to make Sunlight Wolf, trigger Gazelle. He won't get to dump anything, but he does get to trigger Sunlight Wolf, which is not that good because he doesn't
Return what, the Foxy?
Yeah.
Yeesh.
I'm not sure I like this.
Well, that looks at it again. What else would you return? The spinny? Did you return nothing? Oh, he's going to do it this way to return the gazelle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's gonna add back. Okay, I was gonna say that'd be the more appropriate play.
Yeah, this seems a little more normal.
So now he's got the Sanctuary out of his deck. He can Reincarnation Link Summon. He can get the Circle back with Sunlight Wolf, which is nice.
That's pretty good.
I still feel like he could have ended on a better board here.
We don't even have to play the Sanctuary, right?
No, because you're just gonna hard make the Sunlight Wolf. So you're gonna get the Circle.
All right.
You have Gazelle's Circle in hand.
That's pretty good.
It's okay.
Set 2, we know one is an infinite impermanence.
It's going to pass. I feel like he could have ended on Roar as well.
Yeah, there were definitely lines that did that.
Yeah, utilizing the Sanctuary, of course. So Twin coming down instantly.
A twin discarding twin happens.
I will say I'm surprised that Jad let him take back the Sunlight Wolf trigger.
Yeah.
Because he did declare it.
I don't know how married he was to it.
I mean, it could matter. Gazelle's a card.
No. It definitely had an impact.
Yeah.
No question.
So now with those out of the way, just staring down a Sunlight Wolf with the...
All right, a lot rides on this.
He has a Balinx Engrave. However, Mirage Shadow can easily deal with that, so that's not really too problematic. The thing is that when it comes to the Salamangreat Mirror, the first player that can just...
Oh yeah,
whiff.
That's what you like to see.
So Jamil hits all three targets, and Jad hits none. That's, that happens.
Sometimes you're the Salamangreat, sometimes you're the Salamediocre. Ooh,
So,
Pyro Fiend.
foul.
No, this is foul.
Yeah. So what I've noticed with the Salamangreat Mirror that's interesting, it's the first player who can just get control of the board and make Dweller. That textbook first game, that's exactly what happened.
Unless you're in Fusion of Fire in the extra deck, in which case the game becomes markedly different.
Or Super Poly.
Yeah.
That Super Poly is a very
Just
big
the same
blowout
card.
in this game. Effectively, yeah. Well, Super Poly is a lot more explosive,
Yeah.
but effectively they achieve the same thing. So he's going to grab the Sanctuary with the Balinx here. Now the foul's on the board. It's not the end of the world.
So what's still in the hand?
There is Circle, Gazelle, and then I believe, did he just add back Falco or Foxy?
I think the circle is in the graveyard.
Oh no, because I'm sorry, you're right. He used it to search this foul.
Counting real quickly. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay.
So.
All right.
Now here comes the danger.
Do your best.
I'm curious what the other card is in Jad's hand at this point.
Also Snake. There's got to be someone in chat with the ability to PPG YuGiOh Snake. Please. Your time has come.
Hit the Snake.
Hey, hit it.
All right, so it's going to special itself.
Hey,
And he has the Archiver. So Archiver triggers when a monster is special summoned to the zone that it points to.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Oh, five
summons.
1, 2, 3, 4.
If
Four summons. No.
Well, that's such a.
There's no way you make Mirage Stallion.
Well, you're in such a bad position here because, like, if you don't, what do you do?
Your options are Nibiru and lose, or don't
Pass
Nibiru and don't lose.
But if you pass, you're just going to lose anyway.
Okay, so you can either lose by Nibiru, which is a new card, so you have to do it, or you have to just lose. He's checking the extra deck like he's going to perform a summon. I wouldn't recommend it, Jad.
Okay, do we need to have a Nibiru counter?
Yeah, can we get a Nibiru count every time someone's popping off?
So
I'd really appreciate it. Wait, he's doing it anyway?
He's going to do it anyway.
Oh, because if you Nibiru here, we get to float off of Hida.
That's true. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so that's the first Nibiru of the day. Keep that in mind, chat. We're going to see how many Nibirus we see.
He hands him the field center. So we're triggering a bunch of effects here.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff's going to go off here.
We're deciding how much attack it has.
A lot. Okay, so it's 1850 plus 1,000. Oh no, he made it. He made the Hita.
Oh, Hita doesn't float. Thank you, chat. In that case, why make Hita?
Doesn't he get to add to hand?
No, Nibiru doesn't destroy.
Oh, that's right. It tributes.
Yeah.
Oh, so what? I don't know.
I don't know what's going on. This match is so far beyond me. We've entered the cranial zone because he likes Hita. Okay.
The thing is, okay, I feel like Jad is in such a terrible position regardless.
You're correct,
It's a no-win situation. If you make something, you're going to lose a Nibiru. If you don't, Jamil's hand is stacked, and we know this.
Yeah.
So he's just going to be able to completely dominate, if not OTK at that point.
A large rock.
I think the judge maybe just double-checking Nibiru with, like, Gazelle?
This is a big guy.
That token's attack has to be at least like 6K.
Chat says Nibiru counter at 1. Good call, friends.
So he's going to send Will with Gazelle. Now I wonder if Jamil main decks Nibiru if he sides it. Because there are some people crazy enough to main deck it.
I don't think it's ridiculous at all to main deck it.
I don't
It hits
think
Salad, it hits Orcust, it hits Thunder.
Literally every deck except Sarkar.
It hits, Crusader Dragon Thunder. If you can just dodge Striker, if you can pay off Konami to get your matchups in the right order.
Signet mining too. Jamil's hand is loaded.
This is the second game in a row in which I felt like Jad was in a commanding position, and then Jamil just revealed his hand, and it's full of exclusive gas.
He might as well have just extended the handshake at that point. I feel like this should be all summed up because the problem with Salamangreat is getting damage on the board to OTK, and Nibiru is 3,000 attack.
He's huge.
So all you need to do is just make Mirage Stallion in any way. Does Jad even have cards in his hand?
No.
Okay, yeah. So this should be
the game's over.
This should be over. Yeah. All Jamil has to do at this point is make Mirage Stallion, bounce the token, and just summon everything he possibly can, and he should have more than enough. This is just let's add up to 8,000.
Well, we already know how good the American public education system prepares people for adding based on the Nibiru math earlier.
Yeah. So I mean. Maybe it's
12 plus 10 plus 3 plus 18. I don't think the token has very much defense for what it's worth.
Even if it does, he can just bounce it with Mirage Stallion, unless he doesn't play 2.
1 Mirage Stallion, 1 Dante. It's optimal.
I think the token's defense is also question mark equal to everything you tribute.
It's equal to everything you tribute, but 2 of the things that were tributed were Link monsters.
Oh, that's true. So that means
I think it's just Sea Archiver and
doesn't
Foul?
Sea Archiver have 2,100 defense though?
Oh my God, does it really?
I think it has like an abnormally large amount of defense. Maybe I'm thinking of a different card, but I'm pretty sure there's like some card that's like very obscure that has that much defense. Yeah, Archiver has 2,100 defense.
Wow. A big booty on that
Okay,
guy.
he
used the Archiver for Hida. Well, it looks like in an effort to prevent us from having to do math, Jamil is going to bounce his token.
Jad's just he's gonna extend the handshake. There's really not much left he can do at this point. I mean, this is one of the. This basically goes to show just how powerful of a card Nibiru is.
I'm so glad we got to see Nibiru. I'm so happy.
It's only round 4. We still have 4 more rounds today and 4 more tomorrow.
That's
where we
one Nibiru so far.
Yeah, we're gonna see how many Nibirus we see throughout the